Hey everyone, thank you for clicking on this video. Real quick, if you're new private investigator, or maybe you're starting your own business and you want to make sure you have some templates to work with, I've created them for you. I've created 4 templates for you to help you get started. Now, one of them is a client intake form. It's a basic form to help you gather the right information that you're going to need from potential clients. The other one that I have is a surveillance report template. Not only do I provide the template for you, but I provide a video walkthrough and example report for you to give you an idea what to work with there. In this bundle, I also provide an 8-page retainer agreement example. Now, you can edit it to fit however you want to, but you're going to get some great verbiage in there for your potential clients as you're getting started with your business. And last but not least, if you're in the insurance investigation world, I have the workers' compensation interview template. Now, that's going to be super important when you want to ask the right questions when you're doing claims investigations. So anyways, thank you for listening to this. I'm going to put a link to this bundle. You can buy them all individually, but I'm going to put a link to the bundle because you're going to save a little bit of money with the bundle in the description area of this video. All right, now get into the podcast. Hello there. This is Andrew from the Private Investigator Advice Podcast. This is episode 106. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about 4 great ways to stay cool during the summer on surveillance. I'm glad to be here with you today. It's been a while since we podcasted, but I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. This question actually came from a comment in a YouTube video that I had, and they're doing surveillance in Vegas, which, I mean, that's a hot area to be doing surveillance in. So I'm going to get right into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is cooling devices in your vehicle. That's one of the ways that you can kind of take the bite out of the heat. Now, when I was doing surveillance a lot, I tried everything that I could, and one of the things that I had, I think there was 2 things that I had. One was a little handheld fan thingy with a foam propeller. And it did not do very much during a hot day in California. That's where I started my career. I spent a lot of time there on a lot of hot days during surveillance, right? So, but here's the thing, when people would ask this question, and we're talking, I don't know, we're going on almost 15, 16 years ago, there was a thing that folks were doing, and there were always private investigators out there who create things for surveillance. One of the things that I remember them creating was this cooler thing where it would blow air out of it. It was like this homemade air conditioner. Super cool. I was never going to make one of those. I don't have the time, nor the energy, nor the confidence to create something like that. But there were, there's always going to be investigators that create cool things for surveillance. Eventually, hopefully they become mainstream if they're legit or feasible or realistic. I'm going to talk about that invention that I remember years ago in a second, but I'm going to tell you some of the things that I wrote in this article. I'm just going to share with you. One of the things that I saw recently wasn't actually in a Walmart. It might be in a Walmart near you. And you can also pick this up on Amazon. And if I'll put links to this in the show notes, whether it be on YouTube or in the podcast app that you're listening to this for, so you can just kind of link to it from there. Hopefully, one of them is called the Ontel, Arctic Chill 2.0. Now, it caught my eye at Walmart. I did not buy it, even though it's incredibly affordable. It's like $20 something if I remember correctly. But it's like a little miniature swamp cooler. I've heard mixed reviews on it in the Amazon comment section. Some will say, hey, you need to freeze this thing and then, it cools. You're going to have to try it for yourself and see if it's a good fit for you under your conditions. But that's one of the gadgets that I'm going to share with you today is the Ontel Arctic Chill 2.0. The other one that I'm going to share, in fact, I've got a few, so it's not going to just be one device. The other one is the portable neck fan by Scurry. I have it here. If you're watching the video, you'll get to see this. But here it is. It rests on your neck. If you're just listening here, it rests on your neck. and these two fans that, it's all rechargeable, by the way, point towards you and just blow on your face. At home, when I was sitting here in my office and I'm testing this out, and it's got 3 power modes, it felt good. I actually was, well, I mean, not that my house is warm, but it was just like this 70 degrees in here, and I've got the fan on my face, these 2 little fans that rest, around my neck and kind of facing towards my face, and I felt cooler. Now, I took it into my car yesterday and sat in there. It was 89, 90 degrees outside, and I tried the fan. Unfortunately, with the windows rolled up and no wind or nothing, all this thing would do was just blow hot air, because that's all that was in my car was hot air. So it just blew hot air on me. Now, so my recommendation for this, while I think it functions well, I think for outdoors and things like that, it'll be fine if you roll down your windows a little bit. If you get a breeze coming in that a little bit cooler than just this hot box of your car, I think this will work. If you maybe have a wet rag, you wipe on your face, I feel like this will cool you down a little bit. So that's the second device. It's called the portable neck fan. It's by Scurry. It's called the Model X8. Again, I'll link to everything in the show notes here for you. It is a cool device. It actually really, the fans on these things really pump out some wind for yourself. Now, the other one I have is, I'll tell you guys about here, is the bladeless hanging neck fan. Now, there is an upgraded version of this thing floating around. I saw some reviews for it. It's not by the same company. It actually has a cooling device for the back of your neck, and then it blows air on your face. That one runs for like $150. This one does not. This one runs for like $20-something. And again, it just rests on your neck for those of you watching. And I'll be doing more reviews on this sort of stuff individually. But basically, it just blows air on your face again, kind of shoots up from these little vents, and not quite as powerful as the X8, but still in your your house, it's going to be, oh, that's nice. In a hot vehicle, it has to be in combination with something else, because it'll, like I said, it will just blow around hot air if you don't have any windows cracked in your surrounds vehicle and it's just a hot box in there. It's not going to do the trick, right? It's not by itself. It may, if you're sweating, it may cool things off for you a little bit, but yeah, not by itself. It's not, the end all be all. The next one I got for you guys is the Yunto rechargeable handheld fan. Again, this is, I actually haven't reviewed this yet, but I would definitely take a look at this. Again, links will be this. I have heard good things about this. A private investigation company who I've followed for years. I think they're out of Canada. They said this actually is a good fan for removing fog also from your windows. And you may find that in a lot of heat, the condensation in your windows, that may help cool it off if you're videotaping through different windows, or if it's super cold and fogged up, this may do the trick as well. That's a bonus. That's not even for why you're here, right? So anyways, those are the 3 devices that I want to share with you. The other major device I want you guys to check out, I saw this advertised, I want to say like a year ago. Now, remember, I told you 15 years ago or so, somebody created this cooler thing that had a fan, and with ice in it, and it would cool off their car. They said, no, I never did that personally, but somebody actually commercialized that idea. Maybe they thought it was their own. Maybe they never knew that private investigators were doing that, but they did. It's called the Icy Breeze V2 Pro portable air conditioner and cooler. And from what I understand, this is great for camping. But I think and I don't have one. It's in the 300s or 260s for this thing. And if you get the extra gadgets, which I recommend, it's gonna probably run you about $300. Probably a good investment. But basically, it's a cooler that's rechargeable. It's got a battery pack, and it's got tubes in it, and it takes that air in there. It's not like air conditioning from your car, but it still pumps out cold air out of a little tube out of the top. Again, it's battery rechargeable and things of that nature. I want to say it runs like 4 hours or so, maybe a little bit longer. But you can, like I said, you can get extra batteries or potentially plug it into your car and you don't need the battery. So anyways, definitely check that out. Again, I am an affiliate for all these products in there, and that's not why I'm recommending them. I could have recommended anything, but I just want to make you aware of them. I think personally, even though I have not tested this, I think your Icy Breeze, albeit it's going to be the $300 version, if you're in Vegas, spend the $300 on something that could potentially cool you off and still function as a cooler in your vehicle, and cool off and keep your food and drinks cold while you're on surveillance. Okay, so those are the internal devices that I just wanted to share with you for surveillance. Now, here's some other stuff that you probably already know about, but maybe obvious, maybe not. But getting a window shade. A window shade for your front window. Obviously, if you're doing surveillance, and you've probably seen some videos of mine in the past, front window shade is important for surveillance purposes and also from reflecting some of the sun that's shooting in your window. So get yourself a window shade. And if you do have to videotape out your front window, if you get one that has, little holes in the bottom or the top, and I'm not saying, depending on what type you get, you can still videotape through those areas, and no one will be none the wiser. And it might take a little bit of the heat away from, it just beating on your car, right? So keep your car just a little bit cooler. Obviously, guys, some of this stuff is stuff you should already be doing, and that's to have window tint. You should have window tint on your vehicle. Of course, I'm never going to tell you to do something that's illegal. For me, I did 5% on the driver and passenger window, the rear driver and passenger, and all the back windows. I had limo tint all the way across, and then when I stuck the window shade up, it was pretty tough to see in my vehicle. It was pretty tough. So have window tint. There is a clear temperature change for people. Like if you're sitting in the front seat versus the back seat, it's going to be a little bit cooler back there when you have a tinted out vehicle. Just, it is. So have some tint on your vehicle if you're doing surveillance. You should be doing that anyways, but that's going to help cool things off as well. Alrighty. Hate to interrupt this again, but guess what? When I was doing surveillance, I would always write my notes in a specific way, an orderly manner. So when I went back to write my reports, I could read it in a way to where I could write the report very fluidly. And so you know what I did for you? I created a surveillance notebook for you. For surveillance investigators who are out in the field working surveillance assignments, I created this for you. You're going to be able, an area where you're going to be able to write your information, your odometer, if that's important to you. If you're a business owner, you're going to want to keep track of that stuff for this assignment, because that could also reflect in billing. Keeping track of vehicles, located addresses, prelimed addresses, and then one of the most important things to do as an orderly manner is to keep track of your time and activity of the things that are happening during surveillance, whether it be videotaped or not. So anyways, I want you to check it out. I'm also going to leave links to this in the description. I made 3 different covers for it. They're all the same, but if you want to have fun with it, you got this nondescript green, or you're going to have some other fun ones in there as well. Now back to the podcast. The last one here, this is how I survived those hot months, and it did not always work out to where I could do this, but the way I work surveillance, it helped me a lot in many ways. So, and depending on the surveillance assignment you're working, you can run your vehicle or roll down the windows, but I'm just going to talk about the air conditioning. You can run your vehicle, and I know gas, as I make this recording, is through the roof right now, so hopefully it's not always that way. But if you don't need to have a view of the residence, or you can have sort of an obstructed view of the residence. So basically what I'm saying is if you're not parked like 5 houses away, right? Maybe you're parked 10 houses away and you can still see what's going on in the residence. You can see people coming and going. You can see cars coming and going. If that's the scenario, and you park further away, run your car as needed with air conditioning. Obviously, that's where I'm getting to. Use the air conditioning. And here's the great thing about something like that, though it's getting trickier as technology advances and more neighborhoods are communicating. But if someone approaches your vehicle, whether it be the neighbor you're parked in front of or a police officer, if you're far enough away and you're running your vehicle and someone approaches your vehicle, the likelihood of your subject knowing that you're there, or if the police come to your car, is less. So you're not going to compromise the surveillance because you're so far away. It won't matter that you've been approached. Now, like I said, things are changing now. Like long time ago, I used to be worried about the app next door. Now people have Facebook groups and all sorts of groups within their neighborhood, and they're very, if anybody does anything in the neighborhood, everybody knows about it, right? So that's happening now. So, but 10 houses away, they may not even comment on you, or even if they do, maybe they're not connecting with the group that's, the closer knit neighborhood area where your subject lives. So that's my tip for you guys. I would only do that. Like if I had to be up with a view, then I was suffering a little bit on a hot day. And what I would do if I'm like, okay, I've got to be across the street or something, really aggressive, which I never liked doing. But if I had to, I would just be sitting there sweating, of course. But what I would do is I'd turn on the ignition and the fan would turn on, just the fan, not the engine. And I would just blow the air on my face just because I'm dripping with sweat because it's so hot in there. And that would give me a little bit of relief to go a little bit longer in that position. And I would stick that out as long as I could in the vehicle until I just couldn't bear it anymore. Then I had to change something potentially, or hopefully I would be at the end of my surveillance assignment. So that's my tips for you as a surveillance investigator. As you guys are sweating it out there, I know it. This is a tough time of the season, but this is also a very lucrative time of the season where if you're working for an insurance investigation company, insurance companies should be doling out surveillance like crazy right now because people are out and about and doing things. And so anyways, I hope that provides you some some help on your surveillance days. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one. You know what I did in the last couple of years during COVID? I wrote a book. Yeah, I wrote a book for the folks who are looking for some good nuggets and who maybe want to become a private investigator, or maybe you are and you want to hear some of the good nuggets that I have for you. So, want to become a private investigator? It's a question. And I share some of the tips and things I wish I would have known before becoming a private investigator. So anyways, check this out. Actually, this is good for, even the veteran investigator is going to get something out of this. I've already had this reviewed by some other investigators. They love it. I want you to check it out. It's pretty affordable. You can get the Kindle version or the softcover version here. If you do pick it up, and you enjoy it, be sure to give it a 5-star rating on Amazon. Thank you guys, and see you later.